Specially designed for the maritime VSAT antennas. It has the standard WR7 waveguide connection, but since this LNB is controlled from the narrowband detector board, it's not usable on any other system. It supports global operation. It has a user programmable, basically unlimited number of LO frequencies. But just to make it simple, we have 20 sets of LOs already pre-programmed, and from the setup of the antenna from Aptus, you can simply select a letter, and then this LNB would operate with that set of LOs. The next slide will show you a list of available LO frequencies. For example, if you would like to if your system requires you to have an R-type SMW LNB, simply by selecting R-type from the Aptus, this LNB would operate as being an R-type SMW. And same goes for NGRC single LNBs or SMW O-type LNBs. Simply selecting the letter would give you the set. If for some reason you can't find a matching LO frequency, there is also the possibility to select another from Aptus. And that would give you the possibility to key in any LO frequency and program the LNB yourself. Another key feature of the antenna, the modularized design. If you look inside the antenna, basically there is three main units, modules. The first one, the main control unit, sitting on the back of the pedestal, is the main control unit with the main control board. And on top of the main control board, the DVB-S, DVB-ST2 detector. Also on that board, the processing units, the processors, the drivers for the skew motor, driver for the sensor box motor, and all information from the sensors are processed on this board. The second board inside the main control unit, the BLDC board. On this board, all cables from the system are connected. So home sensor, motors, encoders. And also the three big motors, the cross level, the elevation, and the azimuth motor are connected on there. This whole module is replaceable, so if there is anything wrong with the unit, so either the BLDC board or the main control unit, the whole main control unit will be replaced. Second box inside the antenna, the signal detector FSK module. In there we'll find the first step of detection, the narrowband detector, and also the pole and band control is done from the signal detector, from the narrowband detector board. So if you have any problems in the system concerning RX, the first step would be to check if there is still DC power coming from the narrowband detector board. And also on the same board, the FSK modem, which is your communication with the below deck unit. And then the last one, the smallest box sitting on the side of the elevation pan, is the sensor box. It's the smallest one, but it's the most critical one, because inside the sensor box we've got the three rate sensors, the azimuth, the elevation, and the cross level rate sensor, which is detecting the ship motion and is driving the motors in the opposite direction. And also in that box, the tilt sensors for your cross level and elevation. And this would provide your system a level platform from which the elevation is then calculated. Some key features on the ACU. Most of them already mentioned while we discussed the ACU. It's a 19-inch one height unit standard module which connects all the interfaces, so the ship's interface, the NMEA 183 or NMEA 2000, NMEA 183, HDG or HDT, and it has a number of Ethernet ports and I/O ports and RS-232 ports to connect modems and connect your laptop. The ACU supports ABS, the auto beam switching, depending on the modem type. iDirect Open AMIP is an example, but the SAT-Link VHCP would also provide you with beam switching. Inside the ACU, the satellite library, which allows you to pick one satellite which is covering your area to set up your antenna, set up your bow offset, set up your tilt sensors, your rate sensors. And inside the ACU, we've got two power supplies. We're mentioning here the BUC power supply, which is then the power will be inserted into the TX line. So there is no use for an external installation of a BUC power supply. And inside the ACU, of course, is the 27 volt supply, which is powering the ACU, and on the RX cable powering the antenna as well. Another nice feature in the newer antennas is the LEDs. On top of the switch box, we have 3 bright LEDs, and these LEDs are powered from the 27 volts coming from the ACU, and you can switch them on and off by using the switch which is on the side of the switch box. The available bucks for the V80 system, 8 watt, 16 watt. The NJRC mini buck with the MNC lines. This buck will allow you to control and check the buck from Aptus firmware. 8 watt, the extended range of 13.75 to 14.5 gigahertz. The LO frequency 2.8. Then the NJRC mini buck 16 watt. Again, this one can be controlled from the Aptus firmware and has the same extended range and LO frequency. And then the last one available is the Coden mini buck 8 watt without MNC, but still the extended range 13.75 to 14.5 gigahertz with a local oscillator frequency of 12.8 gigahertz. All these bucks need a 10 megahertz reference to get the PLL locked inside the buck, and this reference frequency should be provided from the modem. All the bucks, the power supply will be supplied from the ACU, so the 48 volts DC from the ACU will power the 8 watt buck and also the 16 watt buck. Like with all our antennas, we can supply spare kits for the V80G. Spare kits come as 3 levels, the level 1, level 2 and level 3. Level 1 is basically that kit contains all the important or most used spare parts like the motors, your encoders, your control units, the FSK board, the level sensor box. The level 2 kit is basically the level 1 kit completed with the cable interface unit and the power switch unit. And then the level 3, the V21033, is the level 1 kit, level 2 kit, completed with the rotary joint and slip ring. So basically the level 3 spare kit would have all antenna parts needed to do a service job besides the cables. So besides the level 1, 2 and 3 parts kit, we also do the V21036, which is the internal cable kit, which has all cables which are inside the antenna. And besides that, we have a complete kit for the ACU.